Hello everyone, welcome to KGS. I'm Rajvardhan and today we are going to discuss one topic from environment and ecology, and the topic is related to current affairs. So Supreme Court's order on green crackers. Okay. So in order to understand this particular issue of Supreme Court's order on green crackers, I will have to take you back to 2018 when in 2018 in one of the case named Arjun Gopal versus Union of India, the Supreme Court of India banned crackers in Delhi NCR region. Now that was the complete ban on crackers. They did not mention that they will allow green crackers or not, but complete ban on crackers was there as per the order given by Supreme Court in 2018, and that's why that led to hue and cry amongst people, especially from the firecracker industry, because that kills their livelihood. Also there are concerns related to, let's say, the intervention of the judiciary into the domain of executive. Now that particular point is related to the GS2 part of, let's say, polity and constitution. What we in this particular session of environment and ecology are concerned with what exactly are green crackers and how do they help us in reducing pollution. And on the basis of this, we'll also talk about what Supreme Court has said in this particular case, in this particular judgment that they gave in 2025. Now, let us try to understand. Crackers can be categorized into two different categories. First, traditional crackers. Now, these traditional crackers use barium nitrate as a chemical, and as a result of that, they lead to lots of pollution, especially particulate matter pollution. Fine. And on the other hand, we have second category of crackers called as green crackers. Green crackers use an alternative of barium nitrate, and that alternative is potassium nitrate. In India, if we talk about green crackers, potassium nitrate based green crackers are developed by one laboratory of CSIR, and that is NERI, National Environmental Engineering Research Institute. NERI has developed these green crackers, and they have not only used potassium nitrate, they have also used an ore of aluminium and zinc called as zeolite. As a result of use of potassium nitrate and zeolite, they say that there is significant reduction in the particulate matter pollution, and their claim is that 30% reduction may occur because of green crackers based on potassium nitrate and zeolite. Right? So that is what has been said by NERI. Fine. Now, when Supreme Court in 2018 banned crackers, there was lots of hue and cry, especially from the perspective of livelihood and also intervention of, let's say, judiciary in the cultural aspects. And that's why, as now you have to understand that there is politics involved as well, right? So as government change in Delhi NCR region in 2025, there is also, let's say, the revival of this case related to the use of crackers in Delhi NCR region. And that's why in 2025, Supreme Court has found a middle path wherein they have not allowed the traditional crackers, nor they have banned crackers completely, but as a middle path, they have allowed use of green crackers. But when they allowed this use of green crackers, they have said that it will be on case basis. That means this year they have allowed it. They will monitor the levels of pollution, they will monitor the levels of air quality index, and based on that, they will take the decision for next year. So if you can read this, the Supreme Court has allowed use of green crackers on test case basis, right? It is test case basis. That means they will check whether the use of green crackers harm air quality index, and if it does harm air quality index, we may have, let's say, ban next year. We don't know right now what may happen, but they may ban crackers, green crackers next year in case AQI is still let's say, worse. Fine. So this is what is the background that I have told you. From the environment's perspective, you should be aware of green crackers. So what are green crackers? Green crackers, as I have told you, are in India, they are manufactured by CSIR laboratory called as National Environmental Engineering Research Institute. And what they use, instead of barium nitrate, they use potassium nitrate and zeolite. As a result of use of potassium nitrate and zeolite, they say that there is considerable reduction in the emissions of particulate matters, particulate matter 2.5, particulate matter 10. Both reduce as per the, let's say, research, as per the data given by NERI. Fine. But there are some other issues also related to this particular topic, because it is not only about pollution, right? Why Supreme Court has, let's say, allowed these crackers now, and what are the challenges that we may have with respect to the use of these crackers? So let us try to understand. First of all, so number of conditions have been posed by Supreme Court when they allowed green crackers. For example, they said that there would be, let's say, bursting of these green crackers only for 2 days. They have also given the timing that from 6 to 7 a.m. and in the evening 8 to 10 p.m. This is the time limit in which green crackers can be used. Then they have said that there is prohibition on the use of barium salt, which we have already referred to. Then e-commerce website will not be able to sell these green crackers. Size limits are also there. Joined firecrackers, that means laddies, are not allowed by the Supreme Court in their order. Then monitoring. Police and CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, and Delhi Police, obviously, they will be monitoring the use of firecrackers, whether they are being burst in a specified time period, whether there is use of laddies or not. That would also be monitored by police and CPCB. CPCB would especially monitor AQI, air quality index. Okay? Then violators will be having penalties. Okay. So that is what has been done by the Supreme Court. And there is another organization called as Petroleum and Explosive Safety Organization. What it does, it regulates safety of hazardous substances, right? So firecrackers, as we have already referred to, they use various harmful chemicals like, let's say, potassium nitrate, though a better alternative of barium nitrate, still it leads to, let's say, emission of particulate matters. So its monitoring is done by an organization called as PESO, that is Petroleum and Explosive Safety Organization, established in 1898. Fine. So what are the, let's say, why Supreme Court has allowed this particular use of green crackers? First, curb illegal sales. Now we know that in 2018 Supreme Court, let's say, banned crackers, but despite that ban, there was use of firecrackers in Delhi. Why that was the case? That was the case because there is illegal sale, right? And it's very difficult to monitor illegal sale because Delhi NCR is the region which is highly populated and it has very porous boundaries with the adjoining states, and that's why it's not possible to monitor that, let's say, ban, right? And that's why there was illegal sale of those traditional firecrackers that led to even more pollution. Secondly, viability of green crackers. Now it is the claim of NERI that they reduce particulate matter by 30%. Sometimes it is said that even 80% reduction is there. Means there is no third party verification of these green crackers, and that's why Supreme Court has allowed, let's say, on test case basis use of these crackers. Okay. Then government policy has also changed, as we have already referred to. Change in government was there, and that's why some change in the government policy was also seen. Why? Because the Delhi government this time has said that we will take care of monitoring. Right? They have said that we will monitor the issue, will monitor the AQI level, and based on that, next year we will be able to take the action. Right? Then livelihood concern. The most important concern with respect to ban on crackers was livelihood. Right? They say that this firecracker industry is of worth 40,000 crores, and that's why this kind of ban in Delhi NCR will lead to a slippery slope of ban on firecrackers in other areas as well, and that would have impact on livelihood. So there was some concern, there was some, let's say, tussle between article 1G and article 21, right to life. So Supreme Court, by allowing green crackers, have tried to balance both these articles, article of, let's say, right to life and article of right to livelihood as well, right? They have tried to balance these things, but despite this, let's say, step taken by the Supreme Court wherein they have allowed the use of green crackers, there are some concerns as well. What are the concerns? First is lax enforcement. So is it possible for police department to make sure that firecrackers are burned within the specified time itself? Can they do that? Do they have resources? No. And that's why there would be lax enforcement. Enforcement will not be proper as per the guidelines given by the Supreme Court. So that is one. Secondly, pollution levels. Despite use of these green crackers, pollution level of Delhi was worst during Diwali season. Right, so during those 2 days when Supreme Court allowed use of green crackers, it was very difficult for people to breathe as well. Right, so it was extremely polluted air that they breathed during that particular period. Next, and the most important thing is verification challenge. Right, you won't be able to differentiate just by seeing crackers. You won't be able to differentiate is it a traditional cracker or it is a green cracker. So verification challenge is also there on these authorities who have said that we will monitor the issue, like let's say CPCB and Delhi police. Then undo gains, right? So allowing of green crackers will undo the gains that the NCR area has made with respect to the ban on crackers. In 2018, crackers were banned. Now we are in 2025. So for 7 years, there were some steps that were taken in order to, let's say, in order to enforce this particular ban. Though that did not work very well, but some steps, some initiatives were taken to ban crackers. Fine. But allowing green crackers will undo those steps. That is also one of the issues that we may face because of the order given by the Supreme Court. Okay, and then lack of assessment, right? We do not know whether green crackers are viable or not. That is one of the problems. Green crackers are being sold as green, but it may be just green washing. They in real might not be reducing pollution. Okay, so that is one important thing that you should be aware of. Then green crackers, we have already referred that they are developed by CSIR's NERI, and they are, let's say, production is approved and regulated by the organization called as PESO, Petroleum and Explosives Safety Organization. Now, why they are green? First of all, they reduce pollution of PM 2.5, PM 10. Secondly, they also produce water molecules, and due to production of water molecules, the particulate matters that are produced during the bursting of green crackers will also fall on ground with those water molecules. So that is also one of the important advantages. Thirdly, they produce relatively lesser nitrous oxide and sulfur oxide as well. A relatively less production of sulfur and nitrous oxide is seen in green crackers, and we know that nitrous oxide, sulfur oxide, these are the oxides that play an important role in the production of acid rain. So those are also produced in relatively lesser amount by these green crackers. Okay, so that is what these are other initiatives, not very important, right? So those are the benefits of green crackers. Now what needs to be done? What should be done by the authorities henceforth? The most important thing, see, we have used the technology. We means, let's say, NERI, CSIR's NERI has used technology to develop green crackers. Now we need to use technology to monitor the use of these green crackers as well, right? Real-time monitoring based upon technology is what is needed, and for that we will have to strengthen CPCB, because CPCB, being an expert in, let's say, air pollution, they will be able to monitor AQI in real time, provided they have the technology. So we will have to use technology, leverage technology, especially for monitoring. Secondly, incentivize responsible production. Now, in the garb of green crackers, often traditional crackers are also sold, right? We won't be able to differentiate whether it is green or let's say traditional. That is not possible. So in the garb of these green crackers, traditional crackers may also be sold, because if let's say demand is there for green crackers, and if green crackers are not manufactured to meet that particular demand, obviously there will be some kind of change that the manufacturers will do on the traditional firecrackers, and they will be sold as green, but in reality they are not green. And that's why we will have to incentivize production of green crackers. What we can do, tax incentives can be given, even subsidies can be given, right? So those can be the incentives that can be provided for the manufacturers of green crackers, right? Then behavioral change. Is it possible for us to reduce pollution only based upon the actions taken by government authorities? No, it is our responsibility as well. We as citizens of our country have to make sure that the use of traditional crackers, which are highly polluting, is reduced, and we slowly and steadily move towards green crackers. And those who are, let's say, who do not want to use green crackers, slowly and steadily they can give up the use of crackers as well. So behavioral change is required amongst people as well. We'll have to make sure that this becomes people's movement, right? And lastly, phased ban, right? There is a need to make sure that the ban is not abrupt, right? In 2018, Supreme Court banned it abruptly. It should not be the case, right? The industry, firecrackers industry, should be given appropriate time period to move from traditional towards green crackers, right? And the green crackers of today should be, means the industry should try to make them even greener in future, right? And that's why we can say that the let's say ban in an abrupt manner will not help this particular industry to survive, and livelihood of people would be affected, fine. And that's why we have to make sure that green crackers should be allowed to be used, should be let's say promoted, but that promotion should happen in a phased manner, not in an abrupt manner, fine. So that is what is the issue from the environment's point of view. In nutshell, what you need to understand is what exactly are green crackers. Green crackers use alternative of barium nitrate, and that is potassium nitrate, as a result of which they reduce PM 2.5, PM10, nitrous oxide, sulfur oxide as well. And who has manufactured it in India? It is being manufactured by CSIR, Center for Scientific and Industrial Research Laboratory, called NERI, National Environmental Engineering Research Institute. Fine. So that is what is required from the environment's point of view. Other aspects are, let's say, more related to GS2. Fine. So that is about our discussion of this issue. Thank you.